1,000 years ago, a monk Guido d'Arezzo, who used to teach choir boys, had invented a note system that let right down tone highness. He also had given the notes their names. Guido's notes were only 5, and they were named Ut, C, D, E, F, G, A. His invention was a real breakthrough. The note system had been spread all over the world. Guido's square notes were placed on 4 lines of the musical staff and became the most convenient and simple way to write down music. Music started to develop intensively, having received such a sound depiction technology. It served more for entertaining the listeners and began to pass away from its original purpose of raising the human soul. Monasteries has always been the center of spiritual and scientific education, centers of fine arts and books. I'd like people to know that only due to the monk spirit we achieved great results in science, techniques, agriculture, participated in international exhibitions abroad, showed unique things, received awards, and no one could wish such a high place in the history of Russia, but Russian monks. Solba Steps. I studied notes from A to Z, but who tell me why a gamut begins and ends with the same D note? Our Mother Superior has been serving in the Tolga convent before our place. She is one of the first nuns of this convent. It did not really look like a church. Lavatories in the altars. The situation was disgusting. Windows were covered with plastic membranes. It was very damp. There were cockroaches. Terrible. The most terrible things for me was that there were plastic membranes in the windows instead of glass, and I could not go out. It was very cold, and the lane was too short, ending at the church, so I had to stay inside all the time, and saw neither street nor nature. Nobody wanted to come here. When we came here, everybody asked us how long we were going to stay. They told us that we would go away soon, because 5 progresses had been assigned here before our Mother Superior. We have come together with our daughter. She had finished school, and so we came here. We used to sleep in these cells. She was only 16, and she cried and moaned. "Where did you take me? I can't live here. Let's go away." I was shocked that the first things Mother started to restore was not the outer look of the church. She was thinking about people in the first place. She tried to make the building suitable to live in. We came here at the beginning of the 90s when the mother had just arrived. There was an enormous devastation. The radiators were corroded. It was not clear if there would be problems with heating and food. We always say we should help, but sometimes we refuse. And God takes you into such a situation that you understand that no one can do it but you. When the mother came to Solba, she asked herself, "What is my mission? What must I do here? Why we must have opened the convent in this place, but not closer to towns where life is easier?" I think if we don't bring our children up in the spiritual and moral way, we should not wait for anything positive from the future society. Because the youth will come after us, and we can leave something good behind us. I think such things are spiritual upbringing and education.
Образование и воспитание в духовном направлении.
We ask sisters to pray for us to pass the exams. There was not everything all right with our choir. The song was undone. But we have passed, and we were surprised that we were singing well. The first 6 months were difficult. New girls came, and the curricula were hard for them. Oleg Nikolaevich gave them the task last time that they should play more. They tried to do their best, came to the school, and the teachers were excited, of course. Musical children know that notes D takes a measure and eighth. They study at the music school under the name of Sobinov in Yaroslavl. All girls finished this year very good. All girls were praised, and one girl even got an invitation to participate in the concert on behalf of the music school. We love them very much, and they love us too. We are the happy children here. It seems to me that we are happy because the sisters are nearby. I'd like to be like Mother Martha. She's clever and beautiful. Mother Martha is a cellarer. She likes any task given to her by the priories, and she's always in good mood. My dream is to learn to sing the second voice. When we have been to St. Petersburg, we had a journey by ship and got trapped under the bridge. We sang a prayer to St. Nicholas. I stood by the Mother Philophea and tried to sing the second voice, the lowest possible notes. When Mother Philophea finished singing, I came to her and asked if I sang well. She said, "You used to sing the first voice." Mother Philophea is a very kind person. She came to the convent when she was 17. At that time it was cold, hunger, and devastation here. She's been on this way together with the priories. She's cantor. I saw sisters singing in the church, and I saw a sister who made gestures with her hands like this. So she is a cantor. She conducts the choir, shows them how to sing. I come to the church and I wonder how they can sing such high notes. I can't go so high as they do. If I sing so high, my throat hurts and I cough. I am sure I shall sing so. I read in the former magazine an advertisement about the cantor school and wanted to come here to study. It was so unexpected. I came and saw the priories, the convent, and the sisters were so good that I decided to stay. Music seems to make a soul better. If a church music is composed with the help of God, it can give a man to God. Because people come and hear nice singing, and maybe they become closer to God when they feel the beauty of the church. God takes musically gifted nuns to this convent. Voice is a reflection of mood, state and soul. Spiritual songs give an opportunity to say out, to open up and to confess. Music is born at the moment of playing, and then it continues to live in the listeners' souls. Music is a gift of heaven. It comes to us from the enigmatic depth. These kids were absolutely different half a year ago. No one believes that they've become so intelligent, capable in only 6 months. These children were considered to be mentally retraced. They were considered to be unable to read and count. They said that these kids should not be taken to the next form. But grace of God and love heal all this with time. A child who felt joy of creativity is changing. Creativity is based on the wish to make something that no one did before or to improve what's been already created in your own way. In other words, human creative activity moves us forward to the better world. Maybe they will become neither artists nor musicians, but their creative fantasies will remain. Dream to create something new, unique and better. The mother is nearby. We all live together. We wish all the guests to be healthy and happy. Our convent is an A-class place to be. We thank you for all and wish to see you again.
Очень здорово в гостях у нас. Монастырь наш, это просто класс. За все благодарим. И в гостях увидеть снова вас хотим.
Flowers are in blossom above the Saint Virgin. They are sitting on the same branches, same flowers. Whatever tone you take, all sounds are different. The same note E, for example, sounds stronger than the same note higher.
Ми
Mercy, mercy, a sweet heart, a kind heart, a nice heart, the greatest gift of God. How easy could we live if all people were merciful? People who consider helping the nearest to be their duty are able to come through hard perils and not lose human faith and kindness. They give their hand to help a fellow man. The Bible reads, "Love your fellow man." Even those who don't believe in God, in some moments of life need hope for the miracle. This is belief. We had the following case. A young woman, a teacher, came. She was very ill. She had one of the latest stages. She was deadly ill. She had no strength, was very weak, and did not get up from bed. She could not fight her disease. We took her into the church, placed her bed inside. She took communion. She confessed. She received extreme unction, and finally she recovered. She was gradually getting better at our side. It was a miracle. It was a real holiday. Everybody was surprised, and she went away on her own feet. God's wisdom supplies people with highest truth. Sometimes we can't spread our wings and fly in the sky, but we learn how to overcome. My husband got seriously ill a year ago. Doctors set practically a fatal diagnosis. 3 operations had been performed, but all in vain. I asked him to visit church, but he refused to do it in Moscow. He says, "I shall come only to Solba convent." I say, "All right, let's go there at least." So the father blessed the next operation, and thanks God, it was successful. Since that day, he started to recover. Different thoughts occur. One should make up one's mind, should help her to fill the empty spaces, to do the things that remained undone in the previous life. Yes, it looks like a paradox, but sometimes the note F sounds stronger than the high note. The world of children's fantasy comes in many shapes. They just live in belief, breathe this air, learn to be tolerant with people. Thanks to this, they have tolerant attitude towards people who have not come to know yet. It's how I imagined this before, when I have not even seen the convent where sisters live. I painted 3 windows. Sisters are looking out of them. It's still cloudy, but the sun has already appeared. You take it carefully. It should not be dark. You see it shout down, drop down. You stand on the chair and start to paint. I just graduated from the institute that time. I've got a painting teacher diploma. Tatiana Gavrilovna gave me a suggestions. They were preparing a Christmas fairy tale. She suggested me to make decorations. I was very glad, for I wanted to deal with the theater before. All those small dreams that hadn't been realized in the world started to become true here. I hope that one day I shall paint icons, but I seem to get prepared spiritually for this. Happiness is waiting for everyone somewhere ahead. Try to see it. It lives nearby. A white dove is flying like a soul prayer. The bells are tolling. Saint equal to the apostles Kirill and Methody made a basement of our national culture, having created an alphabet. Everybody used to learn the alphabet, studied Russian language and literature. Everybody knows that communication is impossible without a written language. There would have been no culture at all if there hadn't been letters, alphabet and grammar. So, apostles Kirill and Methody had made a basic of our written Slavonic language, from which other Slavonic people's language commenced, Russian included. A Christ word is in oblivion either in schools or in universities. But the light of Orthodox Church is coming. Let God give you patience and health, and all that you realize to be done in time. God, let us finish the building of our convent. I'd love the saints stood by us, so that everybody smiled in joy when he entered. I was so surprised and glad that he is just like us when he entered. As soon as a flat note is inserted in the line, the same moment the note song is getting changed half tone.
если мы, соль земли, потеряем силу, то что сказать о народе, который...
If we, the salt of the earth, lose our power, what can be said about the people who stream to the churches and monasteries, who want to see the last hope? They want to grasp the straw to survive. People are tired in this hard crisis time. They are full of sorrows and want to get calmed down. They want to be heard by someone. We try to calm people. Our right attitude to the fellow man will be useful to the people. Mother Estolia has peeled the bowl of potatoes, and I rush to the church to hold the service at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow is the Kazan Mother of God holiday. You sing, and there's no holiday without you. Thank God you have come. God help us. Protect and survive. Wish you to come again.
В наши дни столько удивительных людей.
There are so many interesting people, especially in the monasteries nowadays. The sisters are the face of the convent, of course. Many monasteries are being restored from their ruins. Those who want to be nuns and monks came and accept all difficulties to restore not only stones but their spirit. When there is spirit, then there is a strong will to build. When you are tired, you have done so many good things. Feel the work is over and you have time to pray, you have that feeling that can be compared to anything else. One should try this. I am a bookkeeper in the convent. I learned this. I like this. I know my job. It may be of no interest, but I like it. I like to count. Mother Prioris Rotida and the sisters gathered here are longing for a true purpose. God said we must look for the kingdom, come first of all. All the rest will be applied. We should put some ground into this pond. It's too close to the wall. Here we put some ground, and here we'll make it a bit broader to keep its beauty. We'll enforce the banks, and here will be a good lane for pilgrims to come to a dining room, to VC, to the shops. In other words, here will be a pilgrim center, a picturesque place with the pond. Here we have ponds, but they look like swamps now. Soon they will look better and there will be fish in them. Adult people get christened. They want to be christened in the river. We'll provide them with safety and comfort. We'll make a staircase with a platform down to water, two such stairways and a boat between them. Why a boat? So that a priest could stand on this boat and touch a Christian person's head and thus put it into the water. Unfortunately, there are many ideas, but not enough money. The most difficult is not exquisitiveness, it's easy to cope, I think, and not a virginity, it's also possible, people get used to it. They used to serve in the army during 3 and even 7 years before, and got used to be deprived of a sexual life. The point is to pray, and when you got used to this, it also brings joy. The most difficult is to throw away your own desires. One should keep patience and pray in the monastery. This is a hard life, and one should make a choice. Saint Ignatiy Brynchaninov gives the following example. A brother who was completely disobedient was ordered to plant the seedlings roots up and leaves down. Saint Fathers say that real virtue is not that you just have but that's been obtained when you made yourself submit. That's the idea. If a person does something in the name of God, he will receive the power of a prayer and all he needs. Everything is easy when blessed.
Против благословения всегда неудача.
Недаром святые отцы говорили,
The Saint Father said that love was the highest virtue.
но ее не может быть
But if a
человека,
man has
если
no
в нем нет
submission, then
смирения.
there is no love.
Там, где нет смирения, не может быть истинной любви.
Мы не
We
хотим
don't
кого-то
want to make
идеализировать.
ideals.
Все мы
We aren't
несовершенны,
perfect,
и иноки
and
тоже
neither are the
несовершенны.
nuns.
Но
But you should
важен
know
путь, по
that
которому
the
в этой
way
жизни
you've
идешь, и
chosen is
понимание,
important,
куда
and
он
you
ведет.
must understand where
Если
it leads
стремишься
you.
к Богу,
If
то
you
идешь,
stream to God,
оступаешься,
you go,
падаешь,
fall down,
встаешь,
God on
снова
your
падаешь,
feet,
но идешь.
fall again,
Стараешься
and still go your
изменить
way,
себя.
trying to
За
change
любой
yourself.
выстраданный
You
опыт
must be
надо быть
grateful for any
благодарным.
hard
Есть
experience.
люди, которые искренне из
There are
атеизма
people who change
переходят
from atheistically minded to orthodox ones.
искренне ищут,
They sincerely
меняют свою
search
жизнь.
and
И,
change
видимо,
their
Господь
lives.
дал,
God
открыл
seems
эту
to have
страницу,
opened
когда
this page
многие
before
еще
those who are
способные
still able to
принятию
accept Christianity.
христианства по
And I can see
существу, а
a
не
kind
по
of
форме.
renaissance
Вот
in
в этом
this.
плане я
But
вижу
still I'm
некое
afraid.
возрождение. В этом плане. А во всем прочем я очень боюсь. Иоанн
John
Златоуст, знаете,
Chrysostom,
что
you know,
такие-
says such
такие слова,
words
сам
that
не
I
знаю, что он с
don't
ним
know
сделал.
how he could
Он
be
бы сказал,
punished
что
for
самое
these words.
страшное
He
изгонение
said that the most
для
severe
церкви
pressure for the
это
church
отсутствие
was the
изгнания.
absence of pressure. The
У
church
церкви
has got
своя
its own
миссия,
mission,
своя
its own
функция.
function. It's
Своя
important to
функция.
understand
Какова
what function this
эта
is.
функция? Это очень
Spiritual
важно понять.
upbringing the people
Духовное
is mean.
воспитание людей.
Образование, духовный рост – это начало всего, потому что от этих сестер
Education
будут
and spiritual
воцерковляться,
growth are
воодушевляться
the beginning
люди,
of
приезжающие в
everything.
монастырь,
People who come
для
here for
для
spiritual
утоления,
food will be
жажды,
inspired looking at the
духовной.
sisters
Праздники,
and will become
которые
closer
у
to
нас
the
проходят
church.
в монастыре,
Big holidays
уже в
that
больших
are
масштабах
held
на
at
сегодняшний день,
our
это
place
является
helps the
большой миссионерской
missionary activity.
деятельностью.
They
И
are useful for
очень
people,
большую
for
пользу
everyone.
оказывают населению,
We
каждому
invite
человеку в
priests
частности.
who can
Приглашаем
communicate with the
батюшек, которые
children.
хорошо умеют
The
общаться
sisters
с
have an
детьми,
opportunity to develop their
возможность
abilities
сестрам
and talents.
развивать свои способности, свои таланты.
К монашеству
Not
надо
everyone
иметь
can
призвание.
become a monk.
Не
The
каждый
craziest myth
способен на это.
about Orthodox Church
Самый
is
нелепый
that
миф о
this
православии
ideology
то,
had been
что
taken
эта
to Russia
идеология
with the purpose
привнесена в
to
Россию
turn the
исключительно
Russians
для того,
into
чтобы
slaves,
превратить русских
as if the
людей в
church
рабов.
is a place where
Церковь
weak
якобы
people
это
come
место,
who
где
did not
собираются
happen to
слабые люди, не
realize their
сумевшие
ideas in their life.
реализоваться в жизни.
But there are a
Но
lot
сейчас
of
в
young
храмах
people who
огромное
come to the
количество
church,
молодых людей,
and they have an
имеющих
active
активную
position in the
жизненную
life.
позицию. Сегодня в
30
Сольбинской
sisters
обители
live in
живут
Solba
30
convent
сестер.
today.
Они молоды.
They are young and
Они
they
собственным
serve
примером всей
as an
своей жизнью
example
показывают,
what orthodoxy
что такое
is.
православие.
Ancient
Древние
people
верили, что
believed
мир
that
держится
the
на
world
3
rested
слонах.
on 3
Как
elephants.
глубоко они
How deeply
заблуждались.
mistaken they were. In
На
fact,
самом деле
all is
все намного
simpler.
проще.
The world
Он
is
держится
resting
на
on
любви.
love.
Любовь
Love
в
in
женщинах
women
проявляется
is
ярче
exposed,
и
brighter
естественнее.
and more natural.
Сильные и
You are
выносливые,
strong
и в то же
and
время
tough,
хрупкие
and
и
at the
нежные.
same time tender and
Человечество
delicate.
делало без вас,
What would the
родные.
monkey do without
Вы
you,
только подумайте, как
sweethearts?
много в
Just
нашей
think
жизни
how much
зависит
in
от
your life
женщин,
depends
которых
on
все
women,
почему-то
who are
называют
somehow
слабым
called the
полом.
weaker sex.
I've
I've made pilgrim trips around Russia for about 18 years. Everybody's got perfect impression. Some took a trip several times and want to come again. The faithful and even unbelievers have been here and wish to come once more to Solba. We call this place just Solba. The golden medal of the first degree of Saint Blessed Princes Peter and Fervoni, wonder workers of Murom, has been offered to Daria Vladimirovna for parental merits.
Каковы мы,
We are the
таковы
makers of
обстоятельства,
secuman tenses.
говорил блаженный
Blissful
Августин.
Augustine said,
И
"We
есть
are the
времена.
time."
Народная
Folk wisdom
мудрость
says,
гласит,
"What cannot
что
be said
словом не
in
передашь,
word may be done by
музыкой
music.
скажешь.
What cannot
что
be
музыкой не
expressed by
выразишь,
music will
только
be told by
колокольный
bell
звон
tolling."
расскажет.
Thick bass of the biggest bell is still in the air, and the spectators have already started to the unfinished building, looking forward the art which becomes a continuation of their soul state. The look of the monastery radiating joy and peace and an inseparable part of Russia's image in the world. Nowadays, unlike the recent periods of our life, we have an opportunity not only to study monasteries as a historical heritage, but to touch the experience of monastery life. The monastery life has never been locked inside its walls. It influences the outer world greatly through the pilgrims. That's why the Orthodox monasteries are of great importance as the keepers of the national Russian culture. Ask Beethoven. There is neither play nor singing without B note. The note B is higher than the rest. It looks down and observes everything. When I recall all my life that's been lived without God, I see it's passed improperly. And only in the end I understood that you could not do without God.
Не случайно эта троица была как бы изображена.
This Trinity is depicted as a unity not by occasion. It's shown like this to teach us love, so that we never annoy each other, and look at this Trinity trying to resemble this unity, beauty, love, the great love of unity and brotherhood.
Той красоте, той любви, великой любви, единения, братства.
When I saw Mother Ksenia, she seems too strict. I was afraid, could not come to speak with her like with other sisters. I came to her and said, Mother Ksenia, close your eyes. Mother Ksenia had closed her eyes and I embraced her. Looks quite younger. She looks so different to me when she serves in the church. I don't understand what the difference is. I stay and keep one eye on her and other eye on the Father. She's always in such a praying state, smiling unusually when we come. If she saw a girl looking blue among these others, she would come and ask what had happened. When I came here, my parents and my brother often visited me. He looked at me, saw I had changed greatly and said, I can't understand what I should do in my life. I said, I know you should come to the monastery. I advise this as a loving sister and let God arrange everything. Because I understood the convent life meant everything to me. I prayed for him and asked God to come so that he came to the monastery as I wanted, and asked God to bless him for this. When a man trusts in God strongly, devotes all his wishes and dreams to God, then God arranged everything so greatly that a man could not even dream.
Говорим «матушка», и это уже как-то не...
We say mother, but it does not express the whole meaning of love. It sounds more like mercy. In Russian, this word sounds gentle, softer in comparison with the word mom. Sometimes I want to call her mommy. A collective of people is just like their headmaster. We bring up dignified people for the society, and of course we want them to be real Christians, devoted patriots, responsive people, so that they'd like to serve their fellow men, to be examples for the society. It's up to them to decide what they will be, what way of life to choose. It's none of our business. Soul makes choice, and no one can limit the freedom of choice. I think we are obliged to give them education, upbringing, to warm them up and help them to get into independent life as dignified people. Since ancient times, monks helped people to get educated. They brought light of knowledge to the world. Russian monks had been very useful to Russian state in the sphere of education. We have a modern Russian alphabet thanks to Kirill and Methody. Works of Russian monks made a great contribution to the treasure house of Russian science and literature. Powder, champagne and Don Juan were also created by monks, and that's not all. Once a genius monk had an idea to take kernels out of berries, fry them, grind and infuse, and thus coffee had appeared. A village monk had invented a mechanical knitting loom powered by steam. Monks could help the needy to till the ground, to fish farm, to burn bricks. They were good managers and goldsmiths. They built bridges and repaired roads, exploited salt pans, and succeeded in cattle breeding, in yard keeping and beekeeping. Monasteries always played a great role. The large ones carried and spread out the most modern technology. Monasteries had great libraries that contained works of the most famous scientists and philosophers. Monastery religious school, where the center around the university education of modern type had commenced. Today the monks' aim is to keep developing in those conditions where they are. In the 21st century, Russia can remain a country where the Orthodox Church is not just a museum piece, but a reliable support to the people to create advanced science and technology, rich culture, and the modern strong state. A sincere prayer and complicated professional job are in perfect harmony here. And Orthodox monasteries can become outposts of high technologies in Russia, where the main part of church life is a monk. Monks are the core of the Orthodox Church. They are its soul, its main power, the salt of the earth. Man and mankind can either go up the stairs of morality or step down to barbarism. The question is, which direction each of us will choose.
Каждый из нас.